Yo, what up? Welcome to Arctic I'm Josie, and I'm today with January and February reads, which is I usually don't read anything during these months because I'm so tired of December, but this time I did. And let's start with the two comic books that I have. One is Obelix, the businessman, and the other is Divided Village. Let's talk about this one first. This is about how a village, not the one that Asterix and Obelix live in, is divided to two camps, and obviously there's a forbidden love story going on. I found this entertaining, but since it didn't feature all the usual characters, a bit boring, and it was fine. It was still nice drawing style, and it still had jokes, but it wasn't my favorite. Now, talking about the businessman Obelix, I so loved this because it introduced money to the village, and it was a secret plan by a business graduate. So somebody from business school went to Caesar and said that, oh, I know how to tackle this problem with these gulls. And he started giving money to Obelix, so he started making more menhirs, those wooden things, and it spread throughout the village, and everybody is really stuck up, and they start wearing business suits, which is absolutely hilarious. The fashion really shows how flashy the recently rich people can be. Absolutely love this. One of my favorites, and if you see either of these in the bookstore, definitely get this one. Now let's talk about history. Where's history? History book I read is English History by James Hawes, and it's a very short one, and it's a tiny book. There are not a lot of books about the entirety of English history in Estonian. I remember I read one during the times when I was at the university, and it was like really thin one, written by one of the professors in the Tallinn University, and I found like it didn't have any soul, if you can say so. This one. It's a very easy read, but it has a lot of like really random graphs throughout it, like these kinds of things that show just the really basic conclusion that has already been said with the same words in the text. So I did love that they also have a lot of maps, because if you're not a native, you have no idea where all the Wessex and Sussex and different places in the North England are. So this was very good. But the trouble with this, the biggest trouble with this, was that he took the idea that England has always been divided by South and West, and then continued to hammer it in throughout the book. In a lot of places it felt very forced, so I wasn't a fan of that. I'm not saying you shouldn't read it. It's still quite good, but it does skip again a lot through the early ages and like the Middle Ages. Some of the stories that I know that are legendary, like the things that you learn in school, and the core knowledge was not here. Maybe he thought that everybody already knows it, but it would have still felt good to include it, especially with the Anglo-Saxons. I still feel like it's also an important part of history. It was very politics and very ruler heavy. There were basically no women there. If I remember correctly, and I think I do because I also feel like I remember reading about it from the Goodreads reviews, the whole women's suffragette movement is absent. Like, there's nothing about it. Maybe he couldn't spin it in his narrative of South versus North or whatever, but that also felt weird. So I think I gave it 3 stars. Maybe it should deserve 2, but since it is so tiny and compact and maybe great to take you with you on a trip, I said it would be. I said it. It is 3 stars. And now let's talk about something that's fantasy, and that's Infernus Air. It's by Tiffany Wang, and it's a young adult fantasy book. Some of these things that I read here, the whole world seemed really, really interesting. It's basically about like a princess, I guess she's a princess, but her brother is going to take the throne, and the brother is complete psychopath. And this is about how she joins the rebellion, but she joins it because she wants to get out of a marriage that her brother is forcing her into. And then, obviously, she learns to appreciate all the rebellion people. There were so many parts where it could have gone deeper, more complex, but everything always worked out in a way that was everything turns out the way it is supposed to. And especially there was this love story inside that completely didn't have to be there. When I read that, there was this brooding young guy with black hair looking kind of thin, but he was the master of fighting, and I was like, oh my god. Like, why do we have to do this? This added nothing to this. Also, the main character, Thea, she was very morally ambiguous, which can be a good thing, but mostly it just read that she wasn't very likable. And like I said, a lot of this read like you are just writing things that you want to happen, and then these things happen. And that's not very gripping. It was a quick read, and I was waiting for them. Why I kept reading was that they were hinting at something that was going to happen, which I found really interesting. It was connected to their powers and a prophecy, and then it just didn't. And I'm guessing we're getting a second book, but the whole book read like it's the final book, like there's no further part coming. So not the best, but I mean it has potential. The world building was as much as it happened was quite interesting. I wouldn't recommend it. Now let's look at something that I've been reading for I think 6 years. Well, I'm lying. This is something I started in 2018 or 19. It's 100 Nasty Women of History by Hannah Jewell, and it goes through a person and why she's also a person, a woman. And it has divided women up for their different skills, or also kind of like the time they were alive. So there are wonderful ancient weirdos, women who are geniuses, women who wrote dangerous things. What else? Women who fought empires, women who knew how to have a good time, women who punched Nazis, and your new revolutionary role models. When I started reading this, the style was unbearable because it was written in BuzzFeed speak that was popular during that times. And I was so mad because sometimes she just disregards important things just to tell an anecdote. And I get it. It's like a tabletop read that you take and you read 1 or 2 chapters because they're very short, and then you, I don't know, pass out. But it was so... Then, when I picked it up this year to finally finish it, I didn't mind it as much because I was kind of nostalgic about it. I was like, oh yeah, we used to talk like that. Oh, this used to be funny. This used to be the way we said some things. So it was a bit better. And I would say, in my personal opinion, the last two chapters were really good. There were less things that were just like anecdotes, and especially the chapter about the women who punched Nazis was very interesting, and I think she took more time with it, and definitely it seemed like it was researched more. And then some chapters were just like she Googled something and then she spun it in her mind and wrote 2 or 3 pages about it. I would say that it's not bad. I actually quite enjoyed it in the end, and I would come back to it because obviously I don't remember like 2/3 of it because I read it so long ago. But you find a lot of people who you already knew and who you knew about, and then some people who are completely new. She has tried to include a lot of women outside of Europe and America, and that's interesting as well. But yes, it's a fun book. Why not? Now, final book that I read, and that's going to be an old book, and it's The Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I was in library picking up a few things for work, and I realized when I saw this that I have never read it. I have read the Fahrenheit, I have read the 1984, obviously, but I haven't read this one. And I'm very glad I picked it up in Estonian, because I know a lot of people say, oh, it's so slow, it's hard to get into. In my opinion, it was very easy to get into, and from the get-go I was so invested, I was so interested in what's going to happen. It starts with the factory where they make babies, because obviously nobody is having real babies anymore. It was fascinating, and I think one of the strongest parts of the book. The first part had a lot more, in my opinion, the examples, what happens with the society in his idea in the future. And it's written in 1930. 1930. It's crazy. It has so much like sexual activity inside, like not depictions of it, but it is written in a very open and I would say even like not like pornographic, but in a maybe it leaves a bit of bad taste in you, because in the future nobody is monogamous. People start to play like games from young age, and it is encouraged because people who only consume media, play games, have sexual relations with each other, they don't think what's missing in their life, and if they start to think what's missing in their life, they can just pop a pill. That pill popping was very popular here, and then everybody is just content. So the main idea of this book is that in the future, you don't have to suppress people by making them afraid. You can suppress any type of revolution by keeping them content, and so they don't think to question the world order. And I think this is why they say that this talks about our society more than the 1984 or the Fahrenheit 451. I liked it. I found it really weird, though, that the only beacon of civilization was a blonde, savage person who was actually like from the upper caste, but was born into a savage situation for reasons. And he learned Shakespeare, so he was like the final beacon of civilization and old world knowledge. So I was like, oh my god, here we go again, Shakespeare. And actually, The Brave New World comes from Shakespeare sonnet, Question mark. I didn't know that. I'm happy I read it. I feel like my education is now somewhat complete concerning the 20th century dystopia worlds. I still need to read the We by that Russian that Russian author who I can't remember. But this, if you are Estonian, I suggest you read it in Estonian. If you are an English speaker, then still try it. But yes, I liked it, and I think it kind of completes the dystopian worlds written in early 20th century. Okay, these were the books I read in January and February. Not a lot, but a lot more than I usually do. I'm quite happy with it. I'm in the middle of a 500-page fantasy book that I'm loving a lot. So I hope I can tell you all about it next time we see each other. As for today, thank you so much for watching. If you liked, leave a like. If you have something you want to share about what I read, please leave them in the comments, and have a nice day. Bye!